I do think it went well. Like I was thinking, you know what?
All right, everyone, we're going to be getting started. Yeah, we hit record. Sorry, everybody was chatting and I feel bad that I just came out loud. I didn't realize what time it was. Make sure you get some food. Today I will be facilitating the meeting in Catherine's absence. So today we're going to just go, we have a few slides, but it's not going to be a robust agenda like it was last month. So hopefully I put fans around the tables if we need more because the air is not working down here and then the fan drowned the sound. So we're just gonna hopefully get through this smoothly. All right, so one of the things that Catherine and us try to go over is just, we go to the next slide. This is how we will work together in reaching consensus is collaboration principles, safe sharing environment, and consensus decision framework and unified committee work. I mean, obviously we respect everybody's opinion. We just want to respect everybody's voice and really listen, learn from each other. But yeah, so that was Catherine's. And to get started, we're going to go ahead and go to introductions. And what I thought would be nice, we can just do it, keep it really quick. I don't do it every month, but I would love for somebody to say, what in their neighborhood do they love most during summertime? It could be anything, small or big, but I just want to really hear, you know, what really drives people in the community during summertime. So I'm Lori Larita, and I do community outreach for National Western Center Authority. And one of my favorite things is just seeing the kids outside. I have a fairy garden, but instead of fairies, I have little dogs. So it's the cutest thing in front of my yard. So I look forward to putting that out every year. And I love watching the kids come take a look. Yeah.
I'm Gina Griego with Marketing Communications for the National Western Center Authority. And in the summertime I love the outdoor markets.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I just joined the SE2 team. And I would say the trees, the greenery makes me feel better.
Hi, everyone. Elizabeth, Community Engagement Associate with SE2. I'm helping stand up the field program for the Triangle Community Vision Plan. In the summer, I love to see all the dogs at the dog park. So they're more outgoing in the summer.
Mike Bouchard, Executive Director of the Mayor's Office, National Western Center. And for some reason, where we're at has really great rainbows. Like in the summer, just the way the light comes in the afternoon, they get those thunderstorms, like you end up with a lot of rainbows.
Kristen Lang, the program manager with Nwca. And I love that my neighbors knock on my door once a month to tell me to move the car because it's far too. Not that they're helping me out.
Brian Perry with Mayor's Office of National Western, and I love thunderstorms, and I love going to the public pool at Congress Park with my family.
Nice. Beth Vogelsang with OB Consulting and working on the Triangle Project. I would say the sunsets are my favorite part, the evenings when it's cooler, and the sunsets.
Mayra Lina with Focus Points Family Resource Center and the Associate Director of Strategic Initiatives. And I think specifically in the Swansea neighborhood where Focus Points at, I love seeing the paleteros and the people just walking by with their little carts, like the elotes and things like that. I'm always like running after them. Like I love that window. I hate that my door is just so far from the entrance, and I'm always like, hold on. And our farmers market. The farmers market is back on Friday. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María, miembro de la comunidad.
Good afternoon. My name is Maya Clara. I'm a community member.
No me gusta el mal olor.
I don't like it how it smells, especially dog. Yeah, when it's hot, it just stinks. I don't like it.
My name's Armando Payan, and I really like to enjoy the fresh fruit. My specialty that I like to enjoy the most is the mangoes, the small little yellow ones. Not the big ones, because they're not sweet. But I haven't tried the ones from India. I heard the ones from India.
Hello, my name is Jessica. I'm from Malaria. Now live in Groveville, and things I like to do is work out in the garden.
I'm Gilbert, Larry in Bowville. My first time on the market, and I loved what I was doing. I took some beautiful pictures. And I like the stuff that happened at National Western, like the phone ring.
Yeah.
It was very, very interesting at my young age.
He was the last one at that rate too.
You have pictures?
I sure do. This first rave, I had to get pictures.
Yeah.
Like that I'm invited to the things that happen in National Western site, Globeville area, and the new swimming pool.
Yeah.
It was beautiful the day of grand opening. I got to push Mayor Johnson and.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
So, and Watson said, "You ain't doing that, Gil. I'm running up the slide. You ain't getting my seat ready." So those are the exciting things I like to do in the three communities.
Nice.
This is Nico, my son. Nico likes going out in summer, anywhere. He loves going out. Me, I don't like summer. I just go with the flow. But I love spring, that's the only season.
Hi, everyone, I'm Steve Nally. I'm the Chief Real Estate Officer here at the National Western Center Authority. And I enjoy taking my young daughter to the playground. They're very active these days, meeting other families and other kids.
Awesome. And then I'm gonna go just down the list that I have. Tasia.
Tasia and Calvin here from Elyria, and we like hearing all the kids outside and playing in the community and going out ourselves and taking our daughter to play.
Rick, I see you next.
Hey, yeah, I'm Rick Rivera with Partner Colorado Credit Union. And I'm a big fan of all the art festivals and community street festivals. I think they're fabulous. Thank
you. Christine.
Christine Bryan, right?
Yeah. So, Global first.
Yeah, one of the biggest things I really enjoy is seeing the community members engage with each other in the community space, such as parks and schools and rec centers. It's really a cool thing to see the community interact with each other.
All right, so we've got Christina Garcia.
Hi, this is Christina Garcia with Birdseed Collective, and I think my favorite thing is seeing the pools active and all the kids running around in the water.
And then I've got Gary Padilla.
Yes, I'm Gary Padilla with City and County of Denver, Dottie Environmental, and I'll be the project manager for the new project adjacent to the Lorraine Granado Community Park, the Green Infrastructure Project. I like gardening, barbecues, and looking at the eastern sky on a nice thunder, cloudy big thunder heads with lightning. Those are pretty neat to look at in the summer.
Thank you. Stacy Stickler. And then I've got Slavica.
Slavica Park with TRL and consulting on National Western Stock Show. For me, it's all about gardening. Love planting things and watching them grow, and certainly praying for no hail.
All right, and then I have Jay.
Hi guys, this is Jay Kim. Sorry I wasn't able to be there in person today. I'm with Bonfire Eventco. We help produce Market at the Center for the National Western team. And in my neighborhood, I love got a lot of gardeners in my neighborhood. I'm one of them, and I love walking around, seeing all the green stuff growing.
Thank you. Eduardo.
Hello, I'm Eduardo Gonzalez from CSU Spur. And personally, I would say gardening, but I feel like I do it exclusively just to host people at my house and host outdoor events. So I just like outdoor events and hanging out with people outside.
Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca from Globeville First, Globeville resident. I have so many, but I think the most is just the smell of barbecues, and just doing a lot of outdoor activities with my kids.
Haley.
Hi, this is Haley, or I work at OB Consulting with Beth, and my favorite part about summer is that it's socially acceptable to get ice cream every single night.
Rosie. All right, and then let's go ahead and Jen Winkle.
Hey, this is Jen. I live in Swansea. My favorite thing about summer is the same thing any season. It's my neighbors. Just we always have a lot of fun, and just during the summer, we're outside having fun. That's my favorite part.
Love it. I did skip Alex, so if you want to go ahead and.
All right, I'm Alex Thompson with Conquest, Colorado, and this is my first summer here, but I love making bouquets and reason to do so.
All right, Nancy. One of the questions we are asking is what your favorite part of summer is. Like, what do you love about it? And then just if you could announce yourself.
Well, it's just that I work a lot, so there are barely some days that I usually be like outside in the specific times and spend some time there, but I don't think this time.
Yeah.
Because of the smoke. Well, actually, it takes the girls more over there because they have asthma. So, but now it's very difficult. I think we're gonna stay the whole summer inside the house.
Yeah, just better quality and. All right, and then I've got Joseph Stanley. All right. And then Peter Johnson. All right, Brian is, yeah. I'm assuming it's Brian. Leo, Michael. I don't know if it's us. So we've got Mason, Liam. Right here. Olivia Brooklyn. Sorry. Nellie Peterson. Like this awkward silence. AE.
Can they hear us?
I don't know if we can hear them. Like this is. Let me see what the chat.
We lost audio.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, Christina.
Yeah, I could hear you guys.
And we can hear you. Okay. All right, so I've got AE Roland Corey. Marvin Brad. Oh. Okay, she's not gonna have audio. And then we have Marvin Brad. If everyone could just put their name and maybe their email in the chat, that would help me just to make sure that I'm, gathering who attended and just to make sure I can share some post information. That would be amazing. All right. We can go ahead and get started just to respect everybody's time. So our next slide is going to be just the CEO update. We did have a couple of the info sessions at Prodigy, and then we had the other one at Focus Points. I wasn't there for the second one at Focus Points, but I heard it had a pretty good turnout and people were able to speak with her and get some, ask some great questions. So I just wanted to open that up for Steve.
Yeah, sure. I can provide an update on Kate's. Her start date will be July 6th. The board approved 8 at our previous board meeting on the 18th of June, and prior to that were the sessions, the meet and greet. And so Monday after the holiday, it'll be our first day in the office. Brad Buchanan is going to stay on as an advisor, probably through the rest of this year. But yeah, I'm glad folks got to meet Kate at our previous CAC meeting and the meet and greets, and you will all be getting to know her much better once she gets in the role. Any questions about that?
All right, and then we were going to do
Yeah,
equestrian
just a
update.
brief equestrian center. We're in a similar place that we were in last month. We are making progress on the deal, but not quite ready to share. We're still negotiating the contracts. Eager to continue the conversation with the community once we've reached a deal with the developer. So please stay tuned. Thanks for your patience.
Perfect. And then obviously I've got some rubber duckies out there. We're really trying to encourage families, community to come for the second Saturday in July. We are doing a ducky derby race. We are currently trying different avenues on really making sure that the community is involved. We're working with community partners to have coloring sheets, get them out. If they color them, there is the instructions on the back on where you can have them dropped off, or you can bring them the day of the Ducky Derby. That will get them a free duck for racing. It's pretty exciting, but I also will be sending out tomorrow our newsletter that Gina puts together, and that will give you a promo code to make sure that you guys are sharing with your families, and so you can participate in the Ducky Derby at no cost to you. So bring your family, bring your lawn chair. There's going to be a duck MC there kind of running the race, and we're going to have a lot more activations on the riverfront. We are also supporting, we've got UCAN and their workforce. They are having their ribbon cutting at 11 o'clock at the riverfront. So just a lot of great activities, and the whole campus will be activated. We have opened it up for the plaza, the main plaza, but we are adding extra activations on the riverfront. So really looking forward to it. So please take a duck, take some coloring sheets to families, community members, get them involved. And, like I said, we're going to be sending out a link in our newsletter that will give you the code to make sure that it is comped and there's no cost for our community members and Global area
Can I
Swansea.
add one thing?
Mm-hmm.
The mayor's gonna be there, so if you have a chance to throw him in the And we're also going to acknowledge Brad Buchanan for his outstanding service, obviously to the community, but specifically or explicitly to youth workforce development team program, and also Wes Allison for his efforts, and everybody in there, because without the National Western community, none of these projects exist. So, thanks to everybody.
Perfect, thank you. And I think Brad and Steve are gonna be in the band playing a song with you. I think that was conversation. Another thing is that on campus, please share that, there is free compost that is given on campus from Compost Colorado. And it's available Monday through Friday. And, you know, he's got bags out there, he's got compost, so please share that with your families. And then another thing is that We Don't Waste, we will not be hosting a food market for this month. But there are local opportunities from We Don't Waste. So they have one at Bruce Randolph as well as Commerce City. I will send that link out, but we will not be hosting one in July.
Okay.
Because it's for a holiday, and then they have some big gala that they're getting ready for, so all the food vans were already taken. So I know that they just weren't able to, but they do have 2 locations that are closed, that are still happening in July. And if you guys need support, like, hey, I need to get there, reach out to me. Like, I'm happy to take groups, but I just want to make sure that you guys know that, there still is food support out there, just not here for this month, but back on track in August. Another thing is that I've got Focus Points, their farmers market started last month, and it was really, it's Friday. What did I say, Saturday? Oh my goodness. So, so it starts and it's every Friday, and it's so exciting. And so I get to be part of it for this upcoming one, but it happens every Friday. Support such great, and you get free produce and just really great resources. So
Yeah, it's 2 to 5, everybody that signs in, they get $20 voucher to shop around, per household.
Do you give us $20 cash?
It's a voucher.
Yeah, but the produce is so
Yes.
fresh, yeah.
And, if you also have SNAP, you're able to withdraw and get additional, market bucks to shop around.
Yeah, so thank you so much for everything you do for the community. We were able to have Focus Points at the market at the center, talk about the farm box and, get some produce out to our community. So there's different avenues. We're really trying to make sure that we're supporting communities and different spaces. And then, just some upcoming ticket opportunities that we have is the piano guys. It is not them coming to campus, but they are live casting their performance. I will send this out, but if you want to come on campus, listen to it. I heard it's really popular, but it's more of like a watch party for the pianist. And and it's a free activation. You would have to sign up through their link, which I have here and I'll share with everybody else. We were already talking about ThriftCon. It's a pretty big deal on campus. Like, people get really, really excited and people are waiting for hours. That is happening on the 11th and the 12th. So Saturday and Sunday, the same weekend of Market at the Center and second Saturday. So it'll be a busy time on campus. So just make sure that you guys are aware. There's just a lot of activity with Riverfront Ducky Derby, the mayor, and then ThriftCon. And I might have a duck outfit on. I don't know. So come check it out. And then all of you should have received an email from me just inviting you to come to that mile-long table. And it's a dinner that is provided on campus. And I went to it the last 2 years at the Civic Center, the Auraria campus. And it's a way for us to all come together, get close, have conversation. Usually you're sat next to a stranger, but that's the point. You're just supposed to have these conversations and meet new people, but the food is provided, and it's the first time it's been hosted on campus. So I've sent that out. If you have not received it, please let me know and I'll send you the link so we can make sure that your spot is secured. So looking forward to some great things. Let's see. Yeah, and then that's all I have. Awesome.
You can go ahead and go to the next slide. You're fine. There we go. Oh, right there. Okay, so construction updates. Start to get into the positives of the Washington Street construction. The 51st Street from Washington all the way into campus is now fully back open, and that is now 2 ways. If you remember, before it was shut down, it was 1 way. It was just coming east. So that's now 2 ways. Additionally, over there, a growing encampment, that has been, cleared out. The city followed the procedures that they have going, offering people services and whatnot. So that has been cleared, and that area is now going to be a staging area for, levee, construction. Over there as well, another positive is, yesterday I got a preview, and I took some people on that as well, of the new Heron Pond project, and it's really amazing. I think this is going to be just such an amazing asset to this community and to the whole city. They are tentatively aiming for a Labor Day grand opening for that. The issue right now is establishment of the landscaping and plants and trees with the drought. So I will keep everybody up to date on that, but I can't wait for everybody to see that. It's just so cool. It has so many different little, what they're calling nodes, like basically kind of little like, they're like activity stations, like where you can do like an exercise, or there's some education, or just a place to sit with a nice view. And it's all throughout the whole park. It's what's so cool about it is the fourth largest park in all of Denver. So behind the, like City Park, Wash Park, and Cheeseman are the only three parks that are larger than this. So really cool. Can't wait for everybody to get to go and see it. So really cool.
And it's solar powered, right? Like the lights or how is?
Yeah, the playground has lights in it.
Mhm.
They didn't have them lit up when I was there. They haven't put it to power yet, but the playground is really cool. There's just so many different things. Could take this whole meeting talking about all the elements of it. So it's just really cool, and I can't wait for everybody to see it. So on Washington Street, sorry, go back.
Sorry.
Washington Street, obviously construction continues. We're starting to get into kind of heavier construction there, so you'll start to see more single lane closures there where you'll see flagging. Avoid the area as much as possible. It is flowing decently through there, causing maybe a couple minute delay. So if you're in a rush, I would avoid it, but traffic is flowing through there. We don't have any full closures or anything like that coming up. Another big one, if you go down there and to the bottom, is street maintenance. That is taking place. That took place the other day on Tuesday, and then again on the 29th. That'll be a full closure of the northbound lane of Washington to repave that section from about 38th to 45th, I believe, is that repaving area there. So that's a nice thing. It'll get repaved over there. It was getting a little rough.
Asphalt or cement?
Asphalt. Yeah. That's about it that I have for construction updates. Any questions, comments on construction? All right, you can go to the next slide. We have the project manager on as well, so I'll let him jump in and speak to this. But we have an upcoming green infrastructure project on 51st and Steel at the park there. It's basically the west side of the park. I'm forgetting the name of the project manager, but are you on? Did you want to speak on this?
Yes, I am on. Gary Padilla again with the Dottie Green Infrastructure, Green Infrastructure team, and our environmental construction team as well. Yeah, it's really a pretty neat park. We're starting to get a lot more green infrastructure projects within Denver. So this is one of two larger green infrastructure projects that we have going now. But this is at the Lorraine Granado Community Park. And so what you're going to see out there, I am next week having a pre-construction meeting, and I'm going to give them their notice to proceed July 6th. And so, so after the 4th, we're going to start seeing some activity start up over there, getting things prepared. But along the west side of the park, there will be, as you see in the little picture there, some new parking areas and some additional what we call green infrastructure water quality features where the stormwater comes into these planter areas, provides the nutrients and water for plants and trees. And it also helps to create filtered or cleaned water that is then released back into the storm water system, eventually providing a cleaner water runoff to the South Platte River. So along with the trees providing a little bit more cooling area, there'll be some seating areas along with a new shade structure that is a green infrastructure shade structure. This a little bit new to us as well, where there'll be some plant features that'll be on the top of the shade structure. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a really neat little project for us there and for the community. A total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little planter areas on the west side of the park, and then redoing some parking areas on adjacent to the north side of the park. So yeah, any questions there from anybody?
Got plenty of handicap parking for us young people that have trouble.
For the young folks, as far as I know, let me double check that. You know, I believe they do have it. I'm yes, they do. There is some areas there on the west side to accommodate ADA.
Yeah, 'cause some parks, they only give 2 or 3 spaces, and you got a lot of people that are handicapped, and it sometimes becomes a fight.
Yeah.
If there's, if over the park, if there's parking, make sure that we have handicap parking on every park, so everybody has a place to park.
Yeah, and then beyond me, I mean, these were the studies that were done prior to my getting in it, but it looks to me like just looking at the plan set right now, it's favoring on the west side and kind of closer to the 51st and Steel intersection.
Jerry, I had a comment on the north side where the mobile home park is. There's dirt over there. I've never seen any gravel. I have to go over there all the time, especially to distribute flyers for the home ownership program, triangle program. So I'm in and out of that mobile home park every month. But I don't see where you're claiming that there's gravel there on that north side. All I ever see is dirt. But anyway, you say you're gonna complete that with concrete. That would be a feature more than welcome because it's really hindrance and it's an eyesore. And I don't think it's fair for the people who mobile home parks. They have to be able to trudge across that dirt. Although you're claiming it's gravel, I've never seen any gravel there. And I'd be willing to walk the park with you at any point in time.
It's powdered gravel.
Yeah, it's probably gravel that has been mixed in with years of silt and debris from the area. So it's I think they're calling it gravel in our plans because we're removing what appears to be like gravel, but you're right. It appears probably more like old silt and gravel mixed in. But yeah, that's going to be all cleaned up and concrete paving will be provided, parking spots on the north side.
That's what we're doing. Thank you.
Yeah, and then as the little one pager here says, we're starting that construction, like I said, the first part of July. Hoping to, end construction somewhere either, well, I'm going with November, but it depending on how things go, and they meet the a good planting window, maybe it'll be a little bit sooner than that, but for now, their timeline is somewhere in November. And then of course, OV is assisting us with providing public information to the area prior to our deployment there. And it looks like we're getting a little pop up over at the farmers market, the Hurata Urbana farmers market, and then also a pop up that we're going to do at Lorraine Granado Park on July 1st. I'm going to make plans to be there with OV and then as well OV and between OV, the city and county, and the contractor we'll be providing the neighborhood flyering to provide the public information, let them know that we're coming, and give them the notice that when we'll be there.
Yeah, I got a quick question for you. I have seen that through the SIP program, the Lorraine Granado Park was awarded $5,000. I was just wondering if any of that funding contributed to the project you're talking about.
I'm not aware of the budgets that I see are typically coming from within our. I'm not aware of that. What I end up seeing on my side is budgets that are already into our database from like Department of Transportation and Infrastructure and the Green Infrastructure team. So it's possible that it's possible that the Green Infrastructure team did get some grants from something, but I'm not aware of exactly where the funds come in from.
Okay, is this a city project?
It is a city project, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was just. Yeah.
This is Shannon. I just arrived. The funding for Lorraine Granado Park from the Community Investment Fund went to working with a planner who does a lot of community outreach. So they did several sessions, especially with people that work in the trailer park homes that are very close to Lorraine Granado Park, to get community input on what they wanted to see, and also worked with Councilmember Watson's office to make some suggestions about capital improvements. Some of those capital improvements would have to be approved through the capital improvement process via city council, so they couldn't do everything. But basically my understanding is that the grant funding allowed the community outreach portion that then got to, okay, these are the improvements we can do on the overhangs and the parking. And there's a lot of community input from that was organized through the grant.
So basically some of our community funding went to some of the city's obligations and responsibilities?
Well, I mean, I think some of the grant funding went to organizing people to say, we would like to see improvements to this park. And I think, yes, I could agree that that could be the city's obligations and that this is an overlooked area that should have a better park. And sometimes what you have to do then is say like, okay, well, we'll try to do it ourselves the best we can. And we got this grant and we're able to do it. So I would say, for the most part, we don't want to use CIF funds for what city obligations should be, like sidewalks, lighting, things of that nature. This case, it's a little different.
And I was just wondering because it was $5,000 and that just kind of seemed excessive.
Well, I think $5,000 can go a pretty short way when you're working with a consultant and also trying to do community engagement process, feed people, get people to the location. Yeah.
So the money went for the consultant or for the community?
Well, in the end, we provide unrestricted grants to people. So they provide, in their application, they provide us with a budget. The grant review committee provides an approval and an award amount. But when we do our interim grant reports, we don't ask for budgets and receipts. We ask for reports and information, which you can see on the website about what they did with that money. So I just say that to say, I cannot give you a dollar amount of what everything went to, but from their written report, those are the things that it went to. The consultant having the community meetings.
Do you have any analysis to show how effective your outreach was in engagement?
Like for the CIF process or for this process?
Both. To me, it seemed like it was a collaboration effort. I'm just trying to see the effectiveness of it. So.
I think this project is very effective. Like the fact that they got
these new like parking spots, that they got these overhangs that are gonna like provide green improvements that also can like potentially show the need for other capital improvements, like what neighbors were suggesting there are wanting to see like more picnic tables, that's what there's, you know, more places where people can like cook out. I think this is a win. Like to me, this is a win for Lorraine Granado Park, and they can build on this win. I think in terms of like CIF assessment, yeah, then this is the win. You know, we funded some organizing work that led to this. In terms of your question about an overall analysis, no, we have not had capacity or funding to be able to do that.
Because
But we should in the future, and I think we will.
every time I go there, I never see any sidewalks.
Right.
For the mobile home park, not, because I understand, you know, the mobile home park's on private property, but on the public side, there's no sidewalks there at all.
Actually, I think as a part of this plan, there will also be a connecting point, or at least interrelated, because the sidewalk people were also there when I went to the community meeting about this. And part of it is, to your point, making the connection from the trailer park homes to the park so people can access it. Again, I would count that as a win because that comes from the organizing from people there that does need some funding support to make that happen.
I did have AE at her hand raised.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, listen, I appreciate the acknowledgement of the value of activating the Lorraine Granado initiative, and the CIF money was very effective. I saw the early stages of that, and was one of the things I wanted to reinforce is that it is absolutely the case that the founding discussions around the Community Investment Fund were very adamant that those monies should not replace what the city municipal budget should provide for all neighborhoods with equity, including infrastructure levels, and that sometimes neighborhoods can continue to be unsupplied or unprovided for if secondary funds that can be used more flexibly are instead diverted to what city municipality priorities can be or should be in equal basis for all neighborhoods. So this was a case where I feel that the area around I've got my mind on the other big park too. The Lorraine Granado Park is actually going to have more leverage to get prioritized infrastructure in that direction. And get more attention in that direction, and hopefully reinforce it being in the city budget. So I really want to bring that forward so we remember that we can't let the supplemental funding replace raising up the attention of the general budget, city budget priorities to create the equity and attention in the overall infrastructure. That was part of the original value system behind that.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I'm not questioning the necessary and the priority of having community engagement. Like by all means, I think that's very important. I just don't see the reason of funding on $5,000 when it's something you could do free and people could kind of, you know, just gather together if that's what you're choosing to do, and the sincerity and genuineness is there.
I think that's a discussion to have, and that part of the strength and acceleration of what we can all do together can occur with some of the supplemental resources that things like the CIF can have. But the motivation doesn't change. I think the goal is for it to be more broadly developed and expanded. But I think I do agree it's great to have more discussion and for there to be a broader understanding of the impacts of these things. And I'm just emphasizing that we look at all the components of how resources get leveraged in neighborhoods.
Yeah, definitely. Just and honestly, just keep me posted because I like to see what's going on and how that's being utilized to be able to move that forward.
All right, I think Steve had a question.
I guess it might be helpful to hear from the city. Mike maybe probably shouldn't speak on behalf of the Parks Department, but you have some history there. Brian, maybe you could add some information. What is a typical process around an improvement like this at a park? What does a typical community process look like? Just so that folks have understanding, expectations of
what the city's doing and if there's, more work necessary, like what this grant was funding.
Yeah, I don't want to speak on behalf of Parks, obviously, but and I'm not familiar with this project in particular. But from my kind of quick analysis of it, it seems like it's sort of infrastructure adjacent to the park, so I think it's largely dotty. Regardless, a public meeting, maybe two would be typical. And what I'm hearing is CIF support to help organize neighbors to be prepared to go to that meeting and make the requests and leverage their voice to get more out of maybe this phase and set up for future asks. That would, sorry, let me be clear. Beyond a public meeting or maybe two, there wouldn't really be much other outreach for a project like this in my experience. So the city would not be doing that level of engagement with neighbors that it sounds like the CIF dollars were helping to fund.
And like on a larger level too, there's so many needs within a city. And when you bring what gets attention is when people get organized together and have their voice heard. So I think this is a positive thing in the sense that this money went towards raising community concerns about that, which brought that to those that could put that funding to use for this project. So I think that's a great thing. I mean, it was organizing around trying to get momentum for this project. So I think it's positive. And I think it's a model for if the things that are important to the community need attention.
I have a question for you, Shannon. Is the consultant from the community?
She is not, the person who is, the Vivian Cervantes is the point person who received the grant funding, and Vivian grew up in the trailer park homes and her family still lives there. The consultant, is not, she is bilingual.
Because I know that there were some people who applied for the CIF and they were not approved, and they were residents for the community. And supposedly the CIF is made for the communities. Is there a way that we can have some kind of like, how you guys are like managing who gets to give the grants or who's not?
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that we could be at the meetings?
The selection meetings are private, but two things I want to respond to. One is that 100% of our grant funding stays in Globeville, Larry, and Swansea. So, the output of this project is affecting a park in Swansea that does affect residents who live there. You're right, you're bringing up a thing that like the consultant who is hired, it does not live here, but the project itself is here in the neighborhoods, and that's how we think about it. Now to your other point of like understanding the process, couple layers I'm thinking about with that. One, I think we do need to do a better job just on our website of like explaining what our process is. We do have our metric, the like value areas we have on our rubric on there. But in the fall, we intend to have some community like events where you can come ask some questions that I could answer longer than we have right now to answer the question about the full process and get some feedback from you of inputs you would like to see into the process. So I'll let you know about it. I would love for you to be there. And that is something we plan to do before the end of this year.
So I have another question for Steve. Is there a way that we can like, just
And we would definitely be interested in hosting that.
I'm asking you to answer the question.
Yeah, so I
respectfully.
you can jump into it. I think what we are focused on as the authority and as the grantor to the CIF is to make sure that there is a transparent, open process We are not deciding what the projects are. The intent in the framework agreement is that the CIF, the community, decides what benefits GDS. And so we've tried to draw that line. And in the upcoming grant agreement that we're working on currently with the CIF, we are introducing some transparency requirements and process requirements. And so that hopefully that's more helpful, more transparent to the community, and the community deciding what's best for the.
Okay, so it's bigger than ours? Yeah, right. So, the size of the right. Yeah. So, it's fine. Yeah, yeah.
Did something happen to the sound? We can't hear anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're playing top two.
Yeah, I can't hear anything either.
Can you all hear us now?
Can you guys hear us now? Online?
No, I think we.
Yes, Christina put a thumbs up.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So I'll just repeat that for folks online. Our board member application is open right now on our website. It's live, so that's a way to be a part of the process. There's also an explanation there of what that role means. Once we get into our next grant making cycle, there will be an application process to be a grant review committee member, and you review all the applications. You receive a stipend for participating in that as well. So that's another way to begin the process. And Milo, to your thought about, hosting one of those events, I'd love to talk to you about it. Like I was talking to you last night, like happy to, have these kinds of conversations. So I'm open to that for sure.
And once you get all the applications for board members or for the community reviewers thing, who votes for them to stay? Because if I apply and I don't get chosen for whatever reason, so who votes for that?
For our governing body and the grant review committee.
All of them.
Right, but they're separate processes, so I'm trying to make distinction.
Okay.
So for people who will be on our governing board and the grant review committee, our governing body votes on that. And we have a list of priorities that we use for that. For the grant applications, our grant review committee, which is separate from our governing board, they review those applications and they vote on that. They send that docket to our governing board. In the 3 grant cycles we have had, our governing board has never amended the grants that have been put forward by our review committee.
And when you say that 100% of the funding stays in the community, what happened to the other 94 something thousand dollars that wasn't awarded?
Yeah, well, we have some operations funding, so we have a large chunk that goes into like all of our outreach. So when we have information sessions, when we feed people, when we have interpreters at these events, we've hired some part-time folks to work with us to run those events. We also, work with consultants and technical assistants to help us think about what impact investing would look like, that broadens our grant making program. So we want to keep doing this grant making program. We also want to invest in longer term things that I hear a lot of people talk about, like housing solutions, like small businesses, like land that can be stewarded. And so we've also received some technical assistance for that as well.
So some of the funding is going to pay technical people, like to do all that. And was that part of the agreement that that big chunk of money should go for technical assistance? And I'm asking because there was a lot of organizations that didn't get the grants, that are from the community, that are not invented groups or new groups. With people in the community that have been doing a lot of work in the community, and they didn't get grants because they were only 100,000 and something dollars number and something $1,000. And it worries me that most of the money is going for technical stuff, for other things that are coming to mind.
That's not the majority of the money.
We want to invest on the,
That 51% of it is not the majority.
In a way that organizations and groups that are really working in the community for many years get that funding.
So the previous grant agreement that the latest cycle was tied to was essentially unrestricted funds for the benefit of the GES community. That's what the grant agreement says. And so the new grant agreement for the upcoming cycle, because of all of this feedback that we're hearing, that the CIF is hearing at their own meetings, at these meetings, we are adding a lot more process around transparency and governance and what's on the website and conflict of interest forms and disclosures, and better understanding of and more transparency of decisions like this. I mean, we are hearing you, and I think that is what we are gonna add to this upcoming grant agreement. The previous grant agreement it's done, it ends June 30th, the term. The new grant agreement term, typically it starts July 1st, but you know, maybe we finish the agreement July 15th or something like that, to then apply all the way through the next year and for cycle 4.
And I would say, we are overall pretty amenable to, being as transparent as possible. And I would say respectfully to our campus partners here, we all are fighting over a crumb compared to a very large tax-based investment. We're fighting about something that is less than 0.5%. And I see you shaking your head, and I know, so we're having a disagreement, and that's okay. But my point is that this is a $1.6 billion public investment that says that it generates $150 million in economic activity every year. And we are fighting about a little bit over $100,000. And that is what ultimately people want us to do, So I do think, again, just respectfully to our campus partners, we should really think about that, because I think there's more things that we agree about here in terms of getting an ongoing revenue source into our neighborhoods that is more equitably shared, that creates more stability for all of us than just fighting about this small amount. But we do have a responsibility to be as transparent and work with as much integrity as possible with the amount of money that we've been given. And I feel very confident that we have.
I am so sorry, but I just don't want us to, we do have a CBC meeting that happens every other month. I would invite all of you to attend, and we can have more conversations around that, because it really is focused on more of this topic, but I would just hate for us to kind of get sidetracked off of this agenda.
Yeah, I mean, I will, just to wrap up this conversation, we hear what you all are saying. And we are integrating that into the upcoming grant agreement. It's also just 1 year. And so I think we will get better every year at this. The money is also going to grow. And so, I mean, regardless of the amount of money, the process needs to be right. And so that is what we're focusing on and trying to correct.
But that's a worry too, because if there's gonna be more funding, but it's not really gonna go to the groups and organizations and individuals, you already took that away from our community, but groups and organizations that have been working here for many years, that are doing these projects that the community needs. And it's still gonna be the same. It's not gonna be an equal thing for most of the organizations. I have focus points, I have Global First, everyone that applied to Global First as a fiscal sponsor, even myself, we didn't get anything. So And these groups that have been working here for many, many years, and we see two groups of poetry, and I don't have nothing against the people that got those grants. I hope everything goes well, it's just how these things are functioning, and it's for me, and for many of us, that's not functioning, for our communities, for the needs of our communities, and we really have to see through that, because if we're gonna get more funding, you're asking for more money and more money and more money, yeah, but who's getting that money? And that's it.
All right.
Well, one last just response to that, because this is very important, is again, the line that I'm trying to draw here, that the authority is trying to draw, is that we are not picking the projects. We are establishing guidelines for the CIF to follow, and the community picks the projects. And so I think that this is a really healthy conversation and will improve the process and needs to continue to happen for the next 100 years. Right, this is a very long-term project, 96 years.
And if it's not working, you can always start from zero and start a new process from zero with new people and everything. That is from the community. And that can work with the community, and that is community. That can work with community, not someone that is mocking community, not someone that always laughing, not always someone that is like, and you know what I'm talking about, so. We really need to work on those things.
All right, let's go ahead and move forward. If you wanna, go ahead and, Brian,
I'm done.
okay,
I
you're
think
done,
we're done
okay.
with this, so I think we can go to the next slide and then.
All right.
Okay, what's next?
Yep.
Okay, so we're just gonna touch on this for 1 second. So, I know many of you have seen me working on the triangle lately, but our firm also works on a lot of projects and does a lot of work on various things in the area. And if you remember, we had the Washington Street plan, and then we moved into design, and this is just a rendering of the type of things that are going to be on Washington. It's a huge investment in reconstruction of the entire street, including green infrastructure, seating, the pavers, wide pedestrian and bike spaces, so multi-use sidewalks. Little bit of on-street parking here and there, and really creating a much better environment for pedestrians and activity on the street. So
that,
yeah,
based on what you're telling us, that guy riding that bike, there will no longer be a bike lane in the street, it will be on the sidewalk, based on what you just said.
so the reason for that is true, because this is called a multi-use sidewalk, so it's 12 feet. So it can accommodate a mix of things. I wouldn't necessarily encourage folks to ride on that, but it is legal. And the reason for that is that with the levee project, the huge regional trail is also being improved. So they felt like if you were really trying to rip through, you're gonna ride the regional trail. And if you're a mom with a stroller and a little kid on a bike, then you have room to navigate on Washington with that space.
Well, the reason I'm asking, what happens if we came up with an electric, solar power car that would take kids to and from their school, and we wanted to use the bike lanes? I'm at Garden Place, I want them to pick me up at 4707 Pearl and go down Washington and then take me over to Garden Place. There wouldn't be any passageway on the streets. We're reducing carbon, we're reducing the foot traffic and the parking traffic in front of the school, but yet there's no way for us to send a mini solar bus or mini vehicle to take the kids to and from the school.
On Washington.
On Washington. And it's going to increase even more with that housing project. There's 200 units going in right there. So the traffic's just going to increase, it's not going to decrease. And the technology is there, it's been there for the last 10 years. And
And you were imagining it would go on the sidewalk? Or
No,
on
on the street.
it would go on the street in a bike lane?
Yeah, I mean, right now, on 45th Avenue, if you got off the light rail, the Fox Light Rail Station, you can program your phone, a solar bus to come pick you up and take you to your house. You're all drunk. You don't get a DUI. Come drop you off. You just came from a baseball game downtown.
I think bike lanes are open for bikes.
Oh, yeah, I could came from National Western Rodeo.
Well,
Not
not brave,
I don't
not
think-
brave.
I don't think a motorized vehicle that goes over 20 miles an hour is allowed in a bike lane by code.
But scooter is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are not supposed to go over by law, they do.
Yeah, let's say, no, I'm solar vehicles don't go over 20 miles. You see them at the state and airport.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have an answer for that one.
Yeah.
Well, just some food for thought.
Yeah.
That's on.
I had not thought of that. I guess that's something to deal with as we go forward, but, I guess the point for tonight, since this isn't, we don't have the project manager for the project on, so I didn't hear his name. So tonight we really just wanted to highlight that this, regardless of how it works, but this is a big investment coming and a lot of this is funded through Raise Grant, which is fabulous. And so going forward, as we make investments, it's always really important to think about how do we maintain this and make sure that it stays nice for the community for long term.
Yeah, my question is, who's gonna take that landscape and who's gonna water it? Land up beer bottles, cans all the way down.
You're so right. So this is what's called a local maintenance district. So if you go forward, you can just, and so all those you can see this is just an example, but all along Washington Street corridor, there are properties that front the corridor, right? And that's what's outlined in blue. And it goes all the way up, right, to 51st. And so the ones that are in yellow are city-owned properties that are also on the corridor. And they work just like a private property. So the idea behind a local maintenance district is that it's a minimal cost to the property owners that are on the corridor that have direct benefit from the investment, but they also inherit a little bit of a responsibility to pick up those bottles.
Will maintain their own land.
To maintain. Now, that doesn't mean, like, if the plants die in the green infrastructure planter, Dottie comes out to replace those. They don't take on all the cost of the whole thing, but they do have a maintenance fee.
Well, why not create a job for people that live in
They
the
could be. You could have, the maintenance district will have a board and they can contract with someone to be the.
maintain all
Yeah,
that stuff.
absolutely.
I think that would be a good idea because.
That's a great idea.
People need jobs and especially in this neighborhood, that would
And this.
be an incentive.
Yeah.
Because then they're taking care of their own land if they wouldn't.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a great idea.
Hired.
You're hired. You got it. Okay.
The guy was pushing the mayor in pool.
So that's, so we just want to let you know, because we know everyone's going to be really interested in this big investment, and that's the first question they're going to ask is who's going to pick up these beer cans and why, how are we going to keep it nice? And so the city is Dottie is playing a big role, and the city properties that are on here are being assessed the same rate that everybody else is. And it is also being, supported heavily by Dottie. So it's a very affordable maintenance district that is going to be dedicated to keeping things nice. So if you go forward, this is just this is not really like so much of the public, it's really very geared toward the private properties that are on there. If you want to move forward.
Next slide.
Or cover, okay, but we are gonna do an update session at Butcher Block on Thursday morning. We don't have time on there, it's at 9 AM, and right here on Washington. Butcher Block Cafe at Washington.
50th in Washington.
Yeah.
My brain was like.
Yep.
I was like, there's the one on. Right, I know that one.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, so we'll have a little more info there, and that's just for property owners who have been invited, so they understand how this is gonna work. And then to get through it, they have to sign petitions that say, yep, we're okay with this. And then there's a public hearing, and city council actually votes on the allowance for this maintenance district. So it's quite a formal process, but I think it's a nice way to just provide a little bit of that.
What time is that thing going to happen?
9 AM. Who appointed the board, city council? No, actually, that's a good question. The property owners get to develop their own board. So they get to suggest like, okay, we want this owner and that owner, and they get to form their own board.
Okay, so Gil, you need to lobby the property owners.
Yeah.
That's why it's going at 9 a.m. That's right.
Is it open to anyone in the public or just the property owner?
So the meeting itself, 9 a.m. Sorry, just need to double check that.
And we're all eating.
That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
Yes, that is tomorrow. Tomorrow will be.
Wait, it's not for this meeting.
Double book tomorrow.
But yeah, but even if you can't make it, it's okay. I will bring it up.
No,
And they
we're
don't,
going to Butcher Block Eat, and we'll get everybody there.
yeah, and you can get food. You don't have to, you can get cinnamon rolls and stuff. So, so this is what's going on. So this is just really an info item, just to let everybody know, but it's a good thing. So it should, and it takes a little while to get through it, but anyway, that's that. Okay, that's the end of that one. We can go. Okay, Globeville, levy phase 3. This is a really.
Where's that sandwich at?
Oh,
It's coming.
No, I didn't put the sandwich in here. So this one, I gotta tell you about, and it looks like it got a little crazy with the map and we're cutting some stuff off, but the deal is, so in this map, if you can see the first segment of the levee is up by Heron Pond. Okay, so that got completed. The green segment is segment 2, and that is nearing completion, and it includes the 48 outfall and the big overlook and all the stuff you're seeing going in right now, okay? And so the team, the design team, who's finished that, and it's really heavy into construction and gonna be done sometime soon, is ready to tackle the 3rd phase, which is down along Greensby from 38 down to 31st. So that whole stretch, okay, that's the rest of the levee. And by building this levee, if any of you were involved, or if you remember back, we did called the Globeville Stormwater System Study. And it's all about the flooding, the potential flooding, in this case from the river. And if we get this levee built in a timely manner, which they're doing a very good job with, over 700 properties in Globeville get removed from the floodplain, do not have.
Wait a minute, you said 700?
700.
So they'll be displaced.
No,
No.
I'm sorry.
Impacted by flooding will no longer hopefully will be.
It will not be in a floodplain. Not moved.
The insurance has not, I can
Is
speak
that
to
the
this.
insurance for us as residents
Yes.
goes away, the flood insurance.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's the key point, and that's been lacking here since 1965. when we had flood.
Yes.
And
That's what this
last
is
time
about.
in your presentation, you didn't talk about, or you didn't address the age of the homes, or if they're over 100 years old, and the need for these homes to be replaced or
Upgraded.
the foundations, and that was not discussed last night in your presentation.
I know, there's a lot we could.
No, but just if the key.
We didn't have, couldn't do it all night.
But anyway, that applause goes to
Yeah.
helping reduce the cost of ownership.
Yes, it helps to reduce the cost of ownership because you do not need to carry flood insurance once it's completed.
Yep.
And even better, you won't flood, which is also a great benefit. So I was gonna show you on the next map, and this one will be a little tricky, if you go forward one slide. Okay, this is a map from that study, right? And so what you can see, and I would go up there, but anything online, they can't tell anyway. So the gray line is the existing levee along the edge of the river there. And that little place where there's an arrow and a circle is what we call the spill. And that picture to the right shows you that if that river right there, the east bank is much higher, and so we don't have that potential flood condition in that spill. The west bank is much lower, and so when the river gets to a certain height, that water wants to come out at that low point. And all that light blue that you see going up along and through Globeville, that is what floods if the river spills at that location. So by building the rest of this levee, when you need to build it the whole way, but by building this last phase, That's what we're preventing. That's the purpose of this.
And the spill is just south of 38.
The spill is like right north of Taxi, like
Ring right there.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, where Flight is, that Holden Code Light.
And what's wild is that this is only a 2 foot, it's only a 2 foot difference that this is being raised.
Yeah, but FEMA.
To get it out of that flood station. In certain areas, it's higher.
Yeah, it's 2+
Yeah.
along the way, yeah. Yes, and this is where, just as a reminder, so all the levee work that's been done so far, there will be a big regional trail that goes on top of it. It's gonna be very nice along the top of the levee. And then we get down to this piece and it changes a little bit, but we want to continue that trail effect. So go to the next slide. And you can see that in this area, we have Ringsby, and then you have Flight and Taxi and all that development right there. And so it's very tight. We don't have a lot of room to work with. So what we're doing there is they're actually building a wall. The levee is called a levee wall. And that's the only thing they can fit in order to break that spill location. So what they did and said was just as part of the study, and then of course we moved to the engineering team to actually do it. We pushed that wall out a little bit into the river to get us more space on Ringsby so that we can continue the trail and the planters and everything from the regional trail down, all the way down to 31st along Ringsby. So the improvement to Ringsby is also part of that walking and biking space.
There's somebody saying Ringwood Court, there's not even a sidewalk except.
There's not, in fact, if you don't drive carefully, you might go off into the river. It's nothing.
No, you're gonna run over some geese, cause that's all that trail right there.
Yeah, it's pretty, so this will also,
Keep the geese out.
keep the geese out, yeah. Keep you on the road and.
It's another extension of the trail on this side.
That's a good one. So the trail will actually cut under 38 and extend up.
Is that towards Pepsi-Cola side?
No, if you go back to the other map real quickly.
Looks like you have to go up there.
This one, it's really hard to see on there.
Right now the trail, it'll go under the 38th Street Bridge.
Yeah, so the regional trail will come down on the west side. And now we'll build this new extension underneath 38 that brings you right up to Ringsby. So it'll be connected on the west side. And then you'll kind of come up in that grassy knoll place and you'll connect with the sidewalk.
But it will still cross at Global Landing.
It will go right, yes, right through Global Landing, yes, and it will just keep
It's an
going.
extension of.
It's an extension, yeah.
Beth, you need to give us all a bike scooter tour.
Yeah, we need to do a little, yeah, exactly. So then you can cut over at 31st and you can come up the Arkansas side and you can cut back over and there'll be a whole nice,
So what happened to, like, they cut out the bike path coming from McDonald's?
Yeah,
So
well,
is that still being redeveloped all the way under towards?
yeah, so this will all be connected. And they closed that McDonald's location. But as we move into this next phase, I think we can talk about how that connection not the McDonald's connection, but how connections can work through there. I think that's part of it. So, because I know that's missing and anyway.
Well, that was a blessing, actually, that was a blessing.
Homeless.
Yeah, because
It was-
They were just getting high.
we had like 3, 4, 5 deaths and there were young kids that night in that pocket.
Yeah, so, but we'll look at connectivity for when this gets going. And then just to close out on this one, if you go one more. So the kinds of things that will be coming, we're gonna do some stakeholder work. I know there are lots of folks who are interested, so we'll be having some meetings. Folks at my office too. We will have a community meeting here at sometime late summer or early fall. We'll kind of look to join up with maybe some of these other projects and have a larger meeting and then a few pop-up events that just will kind of start to share that they're ready to move on this and there'll be places for you to weigh in on, how do we treat the wall? What kind of plans? How do we handle lighting? What do things look like? And the design team that's working on this, one of the ladies, Stacy, is online. And she's with Valerian. And so they will be leading the landscape architecture and some of those design elements that we'll be talking about this summer. So that's it on that one.
Oh, yay.
Okay. Okay, so rolling right along.
Yeah, I can go. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna let.
Great. Yeah, so next slide. So we're gonna give you all an update on where we are, yeah, I don't know that one, but with the triangle at the National Western Center and the plan. Next slide. Where we are today as far as the block captain program, we have had 37 applicants, since our last update. We have accepted, 23 of those folks. There are only 15 active, so we are still looking to fulfill the full 24 that we're looking for. So I know we have received a couple of applications in the last couple of weeks. We're going to continue door knocking. So if you know anyone in the community who's still interested, I know after yesterday's housing workshop, there was a couple more community members who asked about the block captain program. So we are hoping that we will have the full 24 before the launch of the next big survey. Block captains are going to be door knocking to community members' homes that we were not able to get to in this first cycle of phase 1. And so they will be going around with informational flyers about the workshops that are coming up, as well as a short questionnaire about the workshops that folks are able to see online. It's available for anyone who wasn't able to join the infrastructure workshops. That is up online. And we will also have the housing workshops up online for you all to take a look at and review the information and participate in some short questionnaires. So block captains will also be doing that with community members at the door. It'll be for the next probably 6 to 8 weeks until we launch that second survey with the more detailed scenario planning pieces. And we'll have that full activation of the minivan again.
I'd just like to say that you, Kirsten, need to be applauded for your outstanding efforts. I mean, last night was really indicative of reaching out to the folks. That was really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no, our campus partners and our community organization partners are also really great in activating the space. And so we're thankful to be able to partnering up with some great organizations who are doing the work. So shout out to our host last night, Global First. They truly were the ones that helped organize last night.
Milo, Rebecca.
Right, next slide.
Right there. Can you hear us?
Rebecca heard it.
Okay, great. As far as minivan metrics from that phase first, the phase 1 piece with the survey, we were able to knock 3,147 doors in about 6 weeks, which is a shout out to the block captains in the program. They really, dedicated their time and hours that they were available to talk to their neighbors. And a lot of the block captains had some really great insights and reports as far as the conversations that they did have at the door. We were able to contact about 1,581 people at the door. Surveys and actual conversations that like block captains had more of on a sit-down basis was about 376 conversations. And we were able to really contact with some of those folks who were able to open the door at 507 households. And about half of that, like about 43% were folks who weren't home, but they were still able to have the leave behinds, which are the door hangers. A lot of you all have seen those around the community. But folks were able to see those and still interact with the materials if they were able to scan the QR codes on the door hangers. Do want to note that we only had about 14 refusals, so your community is really excited to engage and participate in some of the information process. So about less than 1% expressed that they didn't want to be contacted, which is a really great non-contact rate. Great, next slide. We were able to have 431 surveys taken from that when it was open to close. We had 14 proposals. So remember I shared in the last couple of CAC meetings where folks were able to submit ideas. We were able to get about 14 of those ideas submitted. Throughout the duration of phase 1, we were able to send about 1,500 text messages to the GES community, either link into the block captain application, to the survey itself, and just general information about the project as a whole. We sent 1,122 emails about the project as well. We distributed over 2,600 flyers. And so those were like those informational flyers around the block captain, around the survey being out. So really making sure that the community in the space was able, spaces around the community were able to have some of that information. And as a reminder, we were able to speak really in person at events to about 376 folks. Because we were in addition to the block captains door knocking, they were also tabling at Second Saturdays, at community events across the neighborhood, and taking a look at, really talking to community at those events. Great. We have a couple of guidance team meetings that are coming up. Those are also open to you all if you would like to attend. As a reminder, the guidance team meeting is really all of the community organizations, the block captains, the planning team, SE2 as a field team, really coming together to go over the updates for the project as a whole. So they will be the second Tuesdays of each month. So July 7th is our next one, from 5:30 to 7:30. It will be at Swansea. So we'll be
What, Swansea School or the center?
The school.
The school.
Yes. So we'll be sending out a reminder for you all the end of this week, just letting you know what to expect the guidance team meeting to be at.
And that's for the full community, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's open.
Yeah.
It's open to.
Yes. And then I listed all the other ones if in case you want to add them to your calendar. If you are like a member of the guidance team meeting, you should have those invites. If you don't, please flag that for me. I'll happy to send those calendar invites out to you all. And we will, as always, have childcare.
There's a sandwich. That's wasn't there.
Took it out and I was like, oh, you can't have a meeting without the sandwich.
I love that it's a sub sandwich.
My favorite.
I know, so it's the thing you love to hate. So, okay. So, this is kind of just moving on from all of the activity and engagement and everything that's going on. We are making our way through the planning process. And so this just shows you, we talked about site characteristics, infrastructure and community priorities and public assets in our first series, which I'm gonna share with you. And then we have moved into the housing layer of the tomatoes and the lettuce. And I think it's really clear that housing is tomatoes, lettuce, peppers, onions. It just keeps going. It's like a variety. There is a lot of variety on the housing topic, so it's gonna take us a while to get through.
And I think we've decided too, it's housing and neighborhood stability.
Yeah.
So we need to upgrade it.
Housing and neighborhood stability.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's move on. So that's.
Sandwich is looking good then, is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, which is gonna be really good at the end. So, so this is our first series of workshops and just kind of pointing out that, two of them were in person and one was virtual, which is kind of the pattern we're trying to follow. And we heard a lot about where and what the community is prioritizing for this site. And we even had, these were little individual forms that people could do expo markers and mark them up themselves and hand in. And then we had larger conversations. So we had quite a few different ways for everyone to weigh in on these topics. And so if you go forward. This is, oh, wow, this is crazy. Look at that thing. Don't know what's going on. But anyway, there was maps and this is just kind of shows you all the scribbling and various ideas and different things that people were talking through. And then if you go forward, we don't even. Okay, so, it's not coming in.
Yeah.
I know, right? It doesn't. So, but this just kind of shows you, this was sort of the, okay, so for those first layers, where did we land? What did we hear? And this isn't like written in stone, but this is just giving us a ground floor, idea of what we're hearing. And so the orange color that you're seeing up in Lot O and the bus barn and up on the north end of the triangle and along Brighton is kind of the locations that people generally said they prefer housing, and then along Brighton, maybe retail, and corners, maybe retail. So community housing, services, retail, all those kind of opportunities. And then that's coupled a little with some of that same color is down by Globeville Landing Park, indicating that there could be opportunities for housing next to the park, you know, don't forget about that. We should kind of think about what happens around that park. The little orange arrows just say that, yes, we really want that porosity or those connections back to the neighborhood. So from the triangle back through the neighborhood and really making that a more connected space. And then we heard a lot about green interests like trees and parks and just different ideas kind of in the area around the 1909 and maybe south of there, maybe kind of in that next to, you know, anywhere in there. Lots of just remembering, you know, to put in your parks and various green infrastructure ideas. So that's what we took away from the first round of workshops. And then if we go forward, we're now in, this was, Elizabeth just mentioned this, but the recording of that is online. The presentation is there, as slides are there. So if you want to go back and look or you just want to remember, and there's a little survey questions or questionnaire about what do you think about priorities? Where would you like to see things? What are you see as challenges? So to kind of send people there if they didn't get a chance to attend. And then the next piece is now, yes, looking just as bad, but we've moved into neighborhood, housing and neighborhood stability. And these are pictures hot off the press from our meeting last night. And we had 70 people at that meeting. You guys, 70.
That's crazy. It
was crazy.
It's the place to be.
We had a lot of people. In fact, it helped us know we should prepare for more people. And we should kind of figure out a few last of our mechanics in terms of sound and mics and how we manage all those people in the room. But that's okay. It was still a great conversation. And we talked a lot about, last night was mostly about housing typologies and the idea of the range of housing options and how we have a diverse need and where those might fit on the side, and really just getting folks to start thinking and sharing their initial thoughts. And so that's really the focus of last night. So we're still processing everything we heard. I don't have a summary for you today yet, but if you go to the last one, we have some more coming. So, oh my God, we can't even follow this. Okay, so our next workshop is Monday night, the 29th. That's just coming Monday, and that's a virtual meeting.
Yes.
And our thought was to focus on similar ideas as to what we talked about at this last meeting, but that got pretty big. So we're gonna dial that in a little bit, and we'll use that to sort of advance the conversation.
What time is this? I think we need to put a time on it.
Yes,
Yes.
well,
5:30.
5:30?
And and Elizabeth sent out, well, if we didn't send out a reminder, we'll send out a reminder for this one. And we'll include the link or the place that you go to be online. So this one we'll make sure we get that out. So that'll just be kind of a continuation of that conversation, and we're gonna try to do that virtually. So just, we'll do our best. And then July 16th, we're looking at another meeting, and based on everything we learned last night, we'll work through what all we try to cover in that meeting. So more to come on that.
Do you have a time and a place for the July 16th meeting?
Yeah. Did we get we're
The July 16th one, yes, I believe it was in the evening, 5:30 as well, and it'll probably still be at the same place.
But still in that.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as we know ahead of time.
Yes, you will. Yeah, you all should get an update early next week.
Some of us don't have email, some of us don't do. paper.
Yes, totally.
So we look for that electric mobile car that's gonna come.
Yes.
It's not on the bus, it's like, we're around that sidewalk. Okay, so this is, so we're going, and I just want to thank everybody who is online and everybody who came last night. It was a great turnout with some great conversations, and it really helped the team also know we have a lot to cover on housing. We heard a lot, and we have a lot of things to deal with as we go forward. So we'll have a lot more conversations, and we'll work to
more ingredients on that.
We need
Yes,
those
on the
ingredients
sandwich.
on that sandwich.
Yes,
That is absolutely right.
We need some pepper.
Oh, yeah.
Are we gonna have some answers about the question that we asked yesterday?
Are you going to have some answers?
Yeah. Or is it too early to?
I think it's too early. I mean, I think most of the questions that we got last night dealt with, will there or could there be funding to support, programs or repairs or things that will help us stay in place. We had a lot of questions in that category, all kinds of things. And so we don't have any answers yet, but we just know that obviously is a big interest. And how we get those types of things funded, I don't know yet, but we're at the early stage. So knowing what is of interest and what's needed and kind of understanding both that and potential housing options is kind of where we are right now. Yeah, so no answers yet, Nancy, but.
We did have a question from AE.
Yes, please.
AE? All right. Go ahead.
Okay, that's it.
And of course, if you want to stay up to date, feel free to sign up for the online for our notices and general updates. We'll share everything through that, but as well as like the block captains that feel free to reach out to them. They'll have the most up-to-date information as well. And as always, if you have questions or comments or just have anything you want to talk to about that you need answers to, feel free to reach out to me. As always, happy to be here as a resource as well.
Are you okay if I just share the original PowerPoint?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
of course.
Yeah, because it really did not look like this
No,
when I received
it
it.
didn't,
so
no.
I'm just like, yeah, I know.
It's in place on mine.
Yeah, no, it is in place. So I think when we try to combine it all in one slide, it
yeah.
did get a little twisted, but I will share it.
Okay, great, perfect, thank you.
I'll add
I
that
was like, I
sandwich
see
as
that.
the.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, well, good. So anyway, we're going. So just thank you.
Can't wait to take a bite of that sandwich.
Yeah, thank you all for being part of it.
Perfect. Yeah, we did have, I want to leave space for community resources or sharing any activations that they would like to talk about. Eduardo, I did not have you speak, but do you mind if I just talk about the 4th of July, like the 4th of July? They are hosting and we'll be sending out a newsletter as well as Eduardo will be sending out an email. But CSU Spur is hosting a 4th of July on campus and it's free for the community to attend, and they'll have live music, hot dogs, food, they'll be grilling, and then you can watch the fireworks from the back of CSU Spur Hydro. So if you are interested, I will share that information and give you the code to sign up so you do not have to pay for anything. Our newsletter will be coming out tomorrow, so that'll include it as well. And then we will also be sending out a link. There is a pizza, the pizza activation for the community. There is one in July. We've had a lot of community participate from what Eduardo has said, and he's just really enjoying seeing all of the activation, but then there's another class in July and I'll be sending that out as well.
I want an update on the parking of how much it costs us to park on the land.
Yeah, so we are still working on having comp parking codes for when there are community activations. So Eduardo and I talked about it again today. Yesterday we had CSU Spur, the movie night with Valdez Perry Library, and we were given a code. Our goal is to have, every time there's a community activation, we do have a certain amount that we can allocate for community to be able to park there at no cost. So it's still something that we're working through. Our goal is obviously not to have anybody pay to come on campus. We do always encourage the community connector, but that's not always, consistent with time. So we are still working on.
See, that's how bad we need that electric bus to get us here.
Yeah. More on TV and transportation, TDOS, all those guys can really, we can make it happen. And the technology is there.
Yes, Lori, maybe this is what you're doing, or you were mentioning, Steve, but people online are saying that they're not able to unmute themselves, and there's some comments in the chat from what A was trying to say.
Even just recently, I thought I just noticed it.
Who started it?
Stop sharing. Yeah.
Don't mind if I share what Focus Points is doing.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Myra with Focus Points again. So we were granted the 2 mini grants by Denver Climate. I'm gonna get this wrong. Climate Center.
Climate Action, Sustainability, and
Just say
CAC.
Yes,
CAC.
and so we will be able to distribute 80, our goal is 80 portable AC units that are energy efficient and like will not cause your electricity bills to substantially increase, as well as air purifiers. Our priority is gonna go to 80216 residents, specifically older adults, as it's our most vulnerable community, and from there, homes with youth, and then from there, individuals. All must qualify with their income guidelines, so we have an intake process for that. We're launching an interest form, a virtual interest form, and also you can stop by our office to get support to fill out that application starting in July.
What?
Oh,
We gotta know, cause we're gonna send people there.
I know. Wednesday as a walk-in, I'll make sure my team members, because we're about to go on break, Focus Points will be closed next week, and we've worked really hard, and so we deserve a little vacation time before July 4th, so we have all of next week off, so our office is closed. So no farmer's market next week, but it'll resume the following week. And so, the interest form shouldn't take more than like 10-15 minutes to fill out. I think it's just like a 10-minute form, if not shorter. And then from there, we'll start contacting you to get additional demographics required by the grant. And then from there, buy your AC unit, and then it should be simple to install, but we will have someone who can go on site to your home to help you install it if you don't feel confident in installing it yourself. But it's the ones where you put it on the window and it's a hose.
When you hook it up to your water line?
No need to hook it up to your water line. Yeah, so that's very exciting, and especially with the type of summer that we're going to have and potentially wildfires, we're prioritizing our older adults, and then our families with youth, and then our single family homes. So please let people know, it should be live in our newsletter, this upcoming email newsletter if you're subscribed, but if not, swing by on Wednesday, July 9th. During walk-ins, it's by the hour, so you might have to wait a little bit, but one of my 3 team members should be able to assist you in filling that application out, and then we'll move on from there. We'll do the additional appointment afterwards, once we have those AC units and air purifiers in our office of when to pick up and all those things.
I have a quick question for you. Is the kids with disabilities?
Oh, yeah, 100%, yeah. Yeah, even if they're young adults, yeah, that's also part of it, yeah.
I'm glad I'm young.
AE, are you able to speak now?
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm in the chat.
You're in the chat? Eduardo, can you text that? I don't know what's going on. I was blocked by the host. I think we were all blocked, but I'm not sure what to do. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Excellent. Okay, just briefly, I wanted to put in context the links that I put in. This is related, Beth, to the local improvement district section. I'm sorry I didn't get in at the end of your presentation, but to back up a little bit, at the housing workshop 1 yesterday, one of the things that we discussed at our table was when you have business improvement districts and local improvement districts, what is the hierarchy with the residential, the benefits to residents? And what about the possibility of evolving residential improvement districts that address the protection of the residential core that is expressed in the Globeville neighborhood plan and comes forward? So I just wanted to, for future discussion as we enter into the financial leveraging and organizing the maintenance, and this is related to your suggestion, Gil, can we hire locally for the local maintenance districts or the local, the improvement districts? We have a very important discussion to be aware of and not allowing improvement districts to create economic hierarchies. And I think there's something to understand. These links present the, it's the brief summary of the local improvement districts in the city of Denver, special improvement districts. This is out of the State Department of Local Affairs, which reviews resident and prospective homeowner impacts of these things. And then there's a link from the Center for Innovative Finance Support on business improvement districts. This is not real hard reading. So I'm just asking us to, let's start talking about that as we go forward, because there are some really exciting possibilities, in my opinion, to innovate how we activate the combination of residents and businesses within the neighborhood organism, including homeowners, in par with encouraging more home ownership. So I would just ask us to bring that into the conversation as part of us going forward with our imagination about how we can leverage maintenance, organization, neighborhood improvements, and all kinds of things. So that's for anybody who's interested going forward. Thanks.
Yeah. Eduardo, did you want to go?
So I'll add some of the stuff that Lori said about the stuff that I'm doing. We are hosting a 4th of July party. It has a fee, obviously, but then if you're from the GES, it's completely free to you when you sign up. Lori should have the link, but I can also email it out through the chat. You can sign up and then use the promo code GES100, and it's completely free for you to sign up. It's free food, one free drink ticket, and then you can come watch the fireworks from the rooftops at Spur. So it would be awesome to have you guys there. Make it a GES event. The other thing is the pizza night. So I would love to also keep having some community members there. They've been great. I go there every night, eat way too many pizzas, and I would love to see you if you can attend. And then there's something else, but I forgot. It's in the chat. Yeah, thank you. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Am I just ranting? Awesome.
We don't have to get registered.
You can go and you can register, but I'll send you the link and then the code you'll need to use. Yeah. And if you need, for the pizza, and then, are you talking for the 4th of July and the pizza?
Yeah.
So the pizza, I'll send you that link, sign up sooner than later, just so. Did you want them to do it via the link or through you, Eduardo, so they get priority?
Link is way faster. Plus, you can also just put my name on it and they'll know. But you always get priority. We have the zip codes and all that all set up.
Okay.
And then, oh, right, the other thing, like Lori mentioned, the National Western's doing too, the long table event, CSU Spurs also sponsoring it. And we made a deal with the long table that if you're from the GES, you can just sign up and it's free for anyone from the GES that wants to come. I also shared out that link. So yeah, come hang out. I would love to chat to you about something that is not work related.
Perfect. All right. I think, do we have anybody else that would like to have like resources shared?
I think, I'm sorry, I didn't, did somebody speaking? Go ahead. There's an event tomorrow or Saturday. At Swansea Rec Center, or is it Johnson Rec Center? Did somebody have the flyer? The Parks and Recreation is having an open, a strategic plan discussion, Sunday, I think it's Saturday from 10 to 12. Does anybody have that flyer?
No, but I can add it to the post email. All right. So
And-
Brian.
Oh, and I'll pull it up.
Great.
I have it.
Okay, great.
The other thing I was gonna share is our back to school event is Saturday, August 1st, and to 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we are looking for sponsors and donations for the backpacks and school supplies. So please reach out and let us know, or please come and grab what you need, or bring your child and grab what you need for their first day of school.
What time?
At 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Are you gonna need volunteers? Are you gonna need volunteers?
Yes, I am, yes, and I need volunteers, you're right, thank you. Yes, please contact just the general, front desk number or stop by and let us know that you're interested in volunteering, and we'll let Glenda, who's our senior manager of home visitation, she's leading it this year. So she's the one in charge, but we are looking for volunteers too. Yeah, thank you, that's it.
I liked your guys' Amazon link. It's-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
That's
helpful.
cool, right?
Yeah, it's very helpful. Just wanted to let you know. Yeah, Sandra?
I just have an announcement, because our community is gonna start the sixth cohort. Is that how you call it?
Yeah.
Cohort?
Yep.
Okay, the sixth cohort is June 29th. The first day that because we made a TikTok video, 45 people registered the same day, so we had to close it. Just because we're not allowed to have more than 25 people in the kitchen. So we have a long waiting list now, because people kept like sending messages and everything, but it's more than 60 something people that want to participate. As our community. Gonna be for 7 weeks. As you know, we started with 32 weeks 2 years ago. That was too long. Then last year we changed it to 12 weeks, then 6 weeks, and this year we're gonna do 2 for 7 weeks. We're working with CSU and National Western this year to be able to have enough funding for this first 7 weeks. Still, we're asking for more funding for the seventh cohort. Cohort. ¿Qué más? Yeah, so so it's 7 weeks, but we're also gonna have fundraising dinner, which is gonna be an 8th week. And that's for the students' graduation. And also the 7th week, we're gonna be looking for the community, so as you know, this program is about not just cooking, but also giving them the certification for the Serve Safe. And when you work in kitchens, you know, the Serve Safe is very helpful because then you get a raise, you can work in a higher position, and anyone in restaurants can do that testing, but most bosses, they don't tell their staff because then they have to pay them more. So CSU is providing the codes to get them for free. So they're gonna do the free course and everything. They're gonna be
That's it, June 29th here,
June 29th,
that's a youth.
and so we're excited because it got moved so fast. Now we have a waiting list and we're gonna.
How you get on the waiting list?
Contact me.
I'll have them contact you.
I'll write you down.
I'll have them contact you then.
Yeah.
And, oh, sorry, so yeah, so the 7th week, so part of this program is also entrepreneurship, how they can get their own business. Because in these communities, we need not only jobs, but we need business people from the neighborhood. This neighborhood has to grow, and if we continue not growing, we're gonna keep being the same. And so we're trying to do that. But we want to expand, and if we don't expand, then we keep seeing that they see us as the most contaminated, the most this, and we're never gonna grow. And there's gonna be a lot of opportunities, but not for this community.
Yeah, we have a lot of really good people there.
So, yeah, so we're gonna start, and on the 7th week, we're gonna be doing a community dinner. So we're gonna cook for the community. The first year we cooked, well, my son cooked 600 whole chickens all day from 11 to 10 p.m. They want no one to help them in the grill. So it was an amazing day. We had beans, rice, desserts, giving out 600 dinners to the community. That the second year we gave out 200 and something dinners also for the community. So we were very excited. Not everyone showed up, the second year, but we were excited that we were able to give out those dinners. So that's also part of the program, how we can, como se dice, sostener la comunidad, ¿cómo se dice sostener? Sustain the community in a way.
And I don't know if AE has her
A
hand
real-
up.
Yeah, Lori, thank you. Just a real quick procedural, for reassurance purposes, was the general block on people being able to unmute a glitch? Or is that's not a facilitating policy, I hope? It creates, was it just a glitch?
It was a glitch.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, I had tried to mute somebody where I was hearing feedback, and when I did, I hit mute all, and this is a lesson for myself, so.
That's fine. I assumed it was. I just wanted everyone to be reassured. We're going to do a theatrical production of the chat out of this. It's very dramatic, but lesson learned, no problem.
Thank you.
Real quickly, what AE was mentioning. Denver Parks and Rec is developing a strategic plan to guide investment in the recreation centers over the next 20-30 years. They're doing a couple of open houses. The one for this area is at Swansea Rec Center, Saturday, June 27th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So that's your chance to give your input on the future of rec centers throughout Denver and especially in this community. So Saturday, June 27th, 10 to 12.
Do you want to add that link to the chat?
Yes. I'm not in the chat, but
Oh, okay.
what, do you send something out?
Yeah,
after
I
this?
can.
I'll send this to you.
And I got it, so I can
Okay,
add to
yeah.
it.
I'm very concerned that the number of people that are having to use fans that are tortured by heat are being abused by the environment. Can y'all turn the air conditioning up for people? Please, it's torturous. I feel very bad for you.
Just so we're clear, we fixed the audio issues.
That's cool. Well, I'm in a public library and it's really very cool here. I know we can do it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you, everyone, and I will be sending that. I'll send this out by tomorrow, just so you guys have all that information.